Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Warbound Devstream. It's been a little bit, I need to apologize. I've been quite busy, and yeah, life gets in the way. But I've restructured how my weekends look a little bit, and hopefully we're going to be able to do these even more consistently going forward. Except for like the week after next, because it's Easter and I'm not here. But yeah. Phoenix, Yazip, welcome to chat. How's it going, Yazip? How's it going, Phoenix? Hope everyone's having a lovely weekend so far. We're actually on time with the stream for once, so there's actually decent chunks of the weekend left. So yeah, I've got Josh with me here, at least for a little bit.
Hello.
Yazip's at a work break. Excellent. Well, I think you're using it as best you possibly can. You know, I think this is, of all the things that you could have done during your work break, I think tuning into a Warbound stream is the most enriching, relaxing, intellectually, you know, thought-provoking. I think you've made a good choice here. So yeah, today, well, we've been working a little bit on some stuff. The loadout system has made some progress. We're moving it chunks of it to C++. We've done a lot more of the sort of design of how we want that to look. A lot of which I think will stabilize over the course of the weekend. We have some meetings planned, but so we'll look into that a little bit. Potentially, I did tease to some of our Discord supporters that we've made some progress on some new weapons. I'm just gonna see if I can find the image here. Yeah, so this is the image that let's see if I open this in browser. So this is the render that we showed off in Discord to supporters. This is, Josh, you know what this is better than I do.
Yes, it's the Winchester model 1897. You know, the good old trench gun.
That's the one. So Josh did a lot of work on the model over the last couple of weeks, and then I've sort of, you know, finished it off in Blender and brought it into Substance Painter, where we've been doing some of our first sort of texturing passes. So we still need to bake the high poly. If you're an artist, you'll know what that means. If not, it just means add more details from a higher resolution version of the mesh to the lower resolution through some fucky math that I don't entirely understand. But yeah, we've made, I think, a lot of great progress here, and very excited to bring this into the engine, hopefully soon. But yeah, alongside that, obviously all the progress on code and this sort of thing. So let me just get my windows in order here. But the main thing that I wanted to look at today was Nouvion. We've talked about Nouvion in the past. Actually, I should probably bring this back. If we go to our wonderful news page, which is just delightful, frankly. I think our new website makes this look just lovely. But we've shown off bits of this before. We have a Cafe Rene model in progress here. We have some work on some splines and some texturing here, train assets. So if you want to dig more into those, warbound.com/news. And of course you can read all of this lovely information and updates, as well as our most recent devlog, which shows another one of our weapons that we've been working on. But yeah, for today I wanted to do a little bit more like gameplay side stuff for Nouvion, because we've talked a lot about like the assets that we're bringing and the sort of art direction and that sort of thing, but not about the gameplay. And this is what I wanted to sort of get started on this stream. We might also do some programming. I've got this sort of in progress with essentially swapping over. We have some, if you were at the last stream, you might remember sort of setting some of this up with Josh's help. So we've been moving that a little bit over to C++, because I can't think in blueprints, I fear. Much to Josh's dismay, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get started. I guess we're back to the browser, because I wanted to do some Nouvion research and sort of get an idea of, I don't know, visually. Let's use Google for this. Nouvion visually and sort of as a map, and things that could be a good baseline. McDonald's crew says hi, hello to the McDonald's crew. If they ever want to cater a Warbound event, that could be quite funny.
I put an order in for some 20 chicken nuggets, please.
Yeah, 20-piece McNugget, please, North London. Cheers. How much would the shipping be? Huh? I didn't realize Wikipedia had its own maps. It's quite funny. Overnight food safe shipping? Well, if you're offering, I'm not going to say no. It'd be sort of silly for me to say no, right? About 200 euros. Ooh. I'll be honest.
In this economy, that's a bargain.
Might be slightly more cost effective to pop down to local Pride and Joy,
Hey, that's my tax money. I'll have you know.
Your tax money.
I've already claimed Ellie's tax money.
This is true. I like how the sun is 3D. That's fun. Yeah, some of our lighting setups. But I actually...
Honestly, I don't know why the bottom looks like that, to be fair.
This?
It's doing its thing.
Like the little compass thing. It also weirdly rotates in 90-degree intervals with the camera, right? Or mostly 90-degree intervals. It snaps weirdly. It's very strange. At least tax money supporting 2 people in the UK. Yeah, I'm well aware.
Yeah. No, I was wondering about the I guess atmosphere at the bottom being just all void light.
That's a lot of errors. It's been so long since I've done proper level design in Unreal. I assume we want to use Unreal's landscaping tools, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's do let's just do 2x2 for now. You can always expand it. Okay, break is over. Well, back to work. Hope everything's alright, and looking forward to chatting later. This can be in the floor, right? This is...
Yeah, it's unbound. It doesn't really matter where that is. So.
Importing landscape, compiling shaders. Excellent. My favorite thing to do on Warbound streams is sit and watch your progress bar. Yeah, I have a bunch of notes as well. Yes, should be interesting. It's been a while since we had a meeting for context chat. Yeah, I think over Christmas everyone took a break. I was moving. Yeah, but we're back. We're so back.
Everyone had a break.
Everyone had a break, except those of us that didn't have a break. Yeah. No, it should be good. I think we've made a lot of progress recently, and it's time to have a discussion about what that looks like going forward as well, and how we get to the things that people want to do. This is very arbitrary ways of me saying we need to discuss playtesting, but finally imported a landscape. Alright. Well, this is the typical sort of blank canvas approach, isn't it?
Yes.
Player spawns.
Make sure it's using the Warbound player starts.
What is?
if you place them down.
This is all new stuff that got added since I last properly used this. Right? I don't know how any of this works. Oh, that's why I can't modify it, because like an idiot I put this in. Do I need to make a new level here, Josh?
Shouldn't have to. You can just get to your levels. I mean, I can't really see what it's set to, but just make sure your main level is set to current.
It says persistent level and Nouvion lighting scenario, which we've talked about the lighting scenario. For context, Josh.
Just right click on the persistent level.
Mm-hmm. Make current.
Oh, and just make current. Yeah, there you go.
I see.
It's because they tried adding it into the lighting scenario. You can tell which one's current because it gets highlighted
like,
blue.
Yeah, it's like blue.
Yeah.
All right, let's re-add the landscape into the. Okay, see now I can actually modify the landscape. That's a good start. Oh, this is foliage mode, of course. Vertex paint, modeling mode, fracture mode. What the box? Except, can I now fracture the box? Fracture level. What the fuck is this? Unreal tried to not blow your engine challenge.
I mean, the fracture's been a thing for ages. That's just for like destruction, isn't it?
I know what a fracture is, but like, I don't remember it having. Like, there's so many tabs here now. Okay, back to
been like that for a while, to be fair.
Yeah, this is all Unreal Engine 5 stuff, and I realize we're at like 5.7.4 now, but I like never. Since Unreal Engine 5 came out, I think I've like only programmed in the engine. I haven't really done any heavy art stuff. But yeah,
it's got
you were saying
cool features.
The player spawns.
Oh yeah, you can just do it in so. If you've got the place actors tab open.
What's the place actors tab?
If you just go to window, then place actors. Then I'm pretty sure you can just search for it.
Warbound player start.
Yeah, just make sure to use them.
Cool. If I add 5 Warbound player starts. And I hit play. Let's see. That's crazy. I'm playing Warbound. Failed to find object class, none. Oh yeah, I probably need to set. That's not what I wanted. Do we need a game mode override? No, we need a default gameplay experience. Do you?
Yeah, it's the game experience.
Do you just use default experience, or do you use domination team deathmatch?
Just use domination or team deathmatch. Or team deathmatch. Probably.
I was going to say team deathmatch, probably right, because it doesn't have capture points.
Yeah. Well, I think it defaults to that anyway, so I think like you might actually have a global override on, to be fair.
Yeah, I think we do.
Which is in your editor preferences.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say we can test the loadouts, but these aren't hooked up to anything. They say boo right now when you click.
Yeah.
And
I mean, to be
like
fair, you've not added it into the playlist either.
I was going to say, like, there's no way for me to get back into it because it's not on the playlist. But But yeah, I think this is another, like, we have the Nouvion model, and I actually don't know if I have the model here on this PC. I think I have it on my laptop, but not on the PC. But I mean, while we're here, we can take a look at the gun. Did I update? Why is it that every time I go on stream, all my software decides it's time to be new and fresh and special?
You have a bad habit, Ellie.
Yeah. So here's the Winchester. Just as sort of a showcase. We put a lot of time, I think, into optimizing this. Oh, that's a... Well, this is the high poly.
I'm going to say, optimize shows the high poly, but it's like God knows how many. I mean, I went a bit overkill to prefer with the high poly.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's fine.
Low poly, nice and optimized, broadly geo only where we need it. But at the same time, I think we've done a good job of like preserving the details that actually make sense, right? Like, I don't think we skimped on anything. And yeah, this is, Josh went like kind of just apeshit on this model in terms of like all the details. If I hide
Where's the
this,
internal parts? Not really.
like, yeah, like this is all like properly working and shit. Like this goes like that, right? When it's like reloading and it like nestles in there.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, it's not animated yet. That's, I think, one of the next steps that we need to talk about, actually, Josh, because...
it's going to be concert once the model is done painfully rigging it.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to rig it, but you also need to send me your animation rig, because that's something that we talked about.
I'll do that now, actually. Oh, someone. Yeah. I think I just sent you the past, maybe, but I can't remember.
I feel like you might have, but I've like moved like twice since then, so I've probably left it in a box or something. I
was gonna now remember where on my PC now.
Oh yeah, of course.
What are you trying to do?
I'm just adding a box because I think like the main. Oh. Is there a nicer way to scale this? Oh yeah, I can change the brush width, and I assume that, yeah, that scales it properly.
I could be wrong, but I think if you go into modeling mode, I think that's where it's like a bit easier to faff with. I could be wrong.
It's very possible. How long did I do these display? It's only 200 seconds. I guess 200 seconds is kind of a lot.
That is very long. I don't know why you put 200 to it.
It's because I copied the console log command from here. And whenever I was doing this, it was like 200 seconds because it was like 2 seconds. And I was like, I want to make sure I see it. So now we just have Boo in the top corner for 200 seconds. So don't get scared if you look there.
Nice. What's happening on stream?
Yeah, don't do what Josh has just done. Be wary. If you're like,
I need a warning.
Like doing something else, right? You're like watching the stream while cooking or something. You just look over and you see Boo. Don't be afraid. Don't be alarmed. This is sort of intentional. But yeah, I think Nouvion's sort of built around this like courtyard. I keep hitting the Windows key instead of the Alt key. which is just another demonstration of my genius. That's so strange. Why is it like selecting the face? Oh, geometry, surface properties, rotate. Huh.
But it's been so long since I've used the modeling stuff in Nouvion.
Yeah, this is like texture stuff. You can like pan the coordinates around. That's quite funny. I like how it re-renders the scene entirely. Oh, I've done the wrong thing, but it doesn't matter because it's excellent. Now I've lined them up. Game development's not that hard. Wait, yeah, I want them this way. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is not productive in the slightest. But yeah, I'm pretty sure. Do I actually have a pure ref? Oh, I have it on my laptop. Because I had a pure ref thing of like references for this map. Because I think like fundamentally it's got like an arch there. Let's check the scaling of that. This feels a little small, I think. I need to keep hitting exit game instead of stop PIE. What the fuck? Okay. A little wider, taller, faster, stronger. I guess I'll delete that and just I'll drag one over. Hello? It's so weird how it does this like rendering thing. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted. Or that. I want to make it wide. You know what? For the sake of I've got my laptop here, so for the sake of like doing a decent check at this, let me check if I actually have the model on my laptop, because I feel like it's nice to just have a base. Also, I'm sure Josip will have very like specific thoughts. Yeah, okay, I found it.
Right. I've got that asset thing for the animations. Upload it to the orange drive.
Nice. I'm gonna
Everything should be packed in the file.
just squirrel this over. So this is, I suppose, kind of the hero asset for this scene. So I'm gonna delete these. Just download about this, then I guess this is not a good place to put this. We probably want to put this in the Nouvion here. I'm just gonna make a new assets directory, I suppose. I'm just gonna dump this in here. Excellent. Oh, it's exported everything. I forgot to turn on selection. Oh, and it's done wonderful things to the normals. What a joy. What a joy. What is this? Thank you. Yeah, okay. Let's delete the majority of this. And then disable nanite. Or do I need to adjust the like import settings? I need to go. Since when does Unreal have a UV editor?
That's how it's a bit. You can basically 3D model now in the engine if you wanted to.
God damn. I mean, it's done a reasonably decent job of the auto UV.
Auto shove it a little.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But I think this is a normals issue more than a...
Probably is, but just inverted normal as well.
Okay, well that's better. We're still getting some wonky nonsense. I wonder if the scaling's alright. Oh, I have fallen through the floor.
Thing is it because the spawns inside us and it's just messing with me.
Yeah. I think this will be... Yep, I need to turn on complex collision as simple. Collision presets block all, use complex collision as simple. This is not like a production, like what I'd say is like a wise production decision, by the way, chat, but it is what it is for now, for testing purposes. Yeah, I think this is scaled reasonably well. I mean, it's god awfully ugly, but it's useful. I get that a lot.
Yeah, it needs a bit of work, but it's not too bad. Scale.
I think like a lighting build would help it as well, but
I mean, I think the scale needs to be a little bit bigger, to be fair, but not like by much.
I mean, yeah, I feel like there's a way.
What you're trying to do?
There's a way to like modify the import settings. Because I don't know what I just did. Because I imported this, right? And it was sort of perhaps not the smartest.
I mean, I think you can do it in the model itself, in the actual like static mesh asset. There's a section in there somewhere. I don't think you can edit all the settings.
Yeah, if you re-import mesh with dialog, then you can. Yes, that's replace. And I want.
I mean, if it's just the normals, I just don't worry about them too much right now anyway.
There's like a way to. I swear there used to be a way to like not import normals. Was it vertex color? Because I remember doing something like this for like stylized trees, right? Like, all right, we're just gonna ignore this, and we're gonna I don't know what's volumetric clouds. Strong. The volumetric cloud Nouvion map. M concrete tiles. Yeah, it's really not happy with the normals, is it?
That'll be fine.
It is what it is. Ah, yes, I've
There's
made
no
it
point
concrete
worrying
now.
about this right now anyway, because it's just
Yeah, this is
a
definitely
very
going to be
early block out.
going to be replaced.
So,
but yeah, this is
no
like,
point getting focused on.
for me, this is sort of the centerpiece of the model, right? Or of the level, rather, not the model. It's like very much.
Yeah, centerpiece of like one section of it. And
I mean, it's like the hero asset of the. It's a reference
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the show or whatever. Yosip is
Yeah.
the one who.
that'll be the main
is a fan
point
it.
of interest on the map.
Yeah. And scale-wise, I think like this is maybe a little bit bigger. Because this is like meant to be a door here, and that feels fairly good. But then again, I feel like
Well,
this
the
is a
doors
little
to be
low.
slightly a bit bigger, not realistic for gameplay reasons. Just the ease of gameplay.
Stop PIE. Yeah, what if we scale this up like? Well, first of all, let's log the scales. Like 1.5. Maybe 101. 1.1.
I mean, ideally, what we need to do really is start defining rule sets for dimensions of certain things like doors and that.
I think it'd be a useful thing to do.
I think it's just common practice, to be fair. I mean, I'm not really doing any environment art myself, but I assume it's common practice to have like a rule set.
Yeah, I think. I mean, in a funny way, you and I are probably the least qualified to have like a real input here, but at the same time. These are my favorite blockout tools. I fucking love the like default on rail cylinders. I don't know why, they're just very satisfying. I'm pretty sure that there's like a fountain here.
I mean, I've got the habit of using that blockout tools plugin.
It doesn't work here because we haven't set it as a dependency, I think. This feels very small.
I mean, that's easy to do. It's just in the plugin settings. I thought I did enable it to be fair, but I guess I didn't.
And maybe it just didn't come over. Like it's. Whoa, that's funky. So it's like a fountain there, and then as far as I understand it, there's also like a building to this side. I think this is like a courtyard. Right, so you get this sort of enclosed little space. And then, I mean, we're sort of building maps for all game modes at this point. And I think the idea is that this is going to be the like public playtest map. In terms of, you know, supported playtests, and I mean, the goal is to build maps that will stick around, right, for the duration of the game's lifespan. But I know that the initial goal for Nouvion is that it's our first sort of vertical slice map. Let me actually rename this. No, M is for material, SM, cafe. And you can get deleted bitch. So I don't know, this is quite closed off. But I think it's like a central choke point, right? You put a little bit of cover in here. And I think it's like a cool thing to assault. But you also like make a bit of a choke point at this, from this angle.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to have, I think, I mean, just by default, you're gonna need something sort of...
Well, I mean, realistically, these buildings eventually will be having like windows and doors and everything to them, so there'll be many angles and all that stuff.
Yeah. I might actually just go through and like, for contrast reasons, just give these windows a little like, just fill them out with white boxes. Because that's a window. This is a window. Although it has just clicked for me, this is going to work maybe not quite so well on the identically white boxes. And I think this is, although this one seems to be shut. I suppose it also depends on where the team spawns are. But I think I'm
it's stuff we really need to plan out. Like, we'll probably need to do like a whole layout design first, really.
Yeah. I think it'd be nice to have
maps.
like,
the maps haven't exactly had really any attention, really.
Yeah, it's been a lot of code focus. But I think we're getting to the point where art focus is becoming sort of a need.
So we could do ideally with an environment artist that knows what they're doing. So, you know, anybody out there wants to join, feel free to get in touch.
Yeah, if you want to help us make levels or anything really, hit us up on Discord, warbound.com, or in the description. You'll find links to just about everything. Although we really should wrap up that careers page at some point.
Yeah.
feel like that as a blocker is helpful. It forces you into the courtyard to engage, which makes you vulnerable to like this window and shit. Because I think this is quite a strong position.
I mean, stuff will far through when we actually get a more design process down for this stuff and start testing.
Yeah. I suppose the questions like broad scopes, what does the map look like? If that's even something that we want to answer at this point.
Well, we don't exactly have the answer for it right now. We need to really have a time at some point figuring the layout out. We'll ideally have an environment artist at that point to aid with it.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the proper process really is for that stuff. I'm assuming it's like layout design everything first and then start greyboxing.
Yeah, as a greybox, this is obviously not great. I feel, yeah, most of my greyboxing experience was for like single player games, which is an altogether slightly different greyboxing experience. It's very, very linear. And I don't know, it's sort of story driven, right? Like, I don't know when I last did greyboxing, which would have been 4 years ago, 3 years ago. This was Project Isolation's like opening level. Yeah, that was single player, open world, sort of FPS, sci-fi vibes. So okay, I think it was worth getting this beautiful asset into the engine. I think the last thing that I'm going to do is go into Nouvion and add a playlists directory, and then I essentially need to nick at least this, I think. And then we're just gonna toss this here, because this asset here registers the map to our front end. So now if I was to hit play, obviously I'll spawn here, but if I exit game, now I should see it here. So obviously it doesn't have a proper image yet. We're using the train yard image, but eventually, hopefully someday. I mean, I guess we can host it with like 1 billion bots.
I mean, I don't know how it's going to work, because there's only like 5 spawn points.
And they're all
still spawn inside each other.
And I also have just realized that I don't have a gun.
You can use the command, give yourself one. You used to give item. And it should list guns. Yeah.
I like how the bots have done absolutely nothing. Do they? I guess I haven't put down a nav mesh.
Yeah, there's no nav mesh, so they don't know what to do with themselves right now.
So if you ever wanted to know how to get a lot of kills in Warbound,
no, like, it looks like there's bots on the side of it, sure.
That's how you get the double kills. Yeah, look at that 10 mil KD. Spam the Twitch viewer bots. Yeah, I'm gonna.
Kind of funny though, because if you do the add player bots, Commander just like go over. When they run out of names, they just get being called like, I think they're called like tin bots or something. Start getting called.
Nav. Bounds volume. Man, it's been ages since I've done this. Is it P the shortcut again? Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Oh my god, that's like ancient muscle memory for me. Nav mesh bounds volume, my beloved. I feel like they've upgraded the visuals of it a little bit.
Yeah, they have. It's a bit clean. You can just do the add bots command if needs be.
Yeah, let's do a slightly less egregious amount of bots.
He's having a bit of an awkward standoff.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
It's stuck. That's, I mean,
Kiss.
you go back into the level because I think the spawn points were saying they were bad size, so I don't know if they're just getting stuck at the spawn. I can see it lifting up a bit.
Yeah. If I just like nuke these and spread
I'll just lift
them
them up slightly.
Maybe a little bit more.
Than add.
Well, hey. Maybe not well, hey. Alright. A problem for another day, I think. It is at least minimally set up for for bots now, which is nice. Let me just check. His Twitch will want to run ads at some point. Oh, it's ad in progress.
It's already got it.
Fair enough. I'm getting a feel for it, but not quite. Alright, I think this is a good time to context shift into a little bit of programming. So, for those of you still here, cheeky bit of programming. Camera's still working, that's good. I've had some issues with the camera sort of just crapping out. Sort of weird intervals.
They just like being awkward sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know why it doesn't, but it does do it. But yeah, just gonna wait this this ad break out. I think it's got another minute on it. If anyone's not watching the ad break, thank you very much for supporting the channel, or congratulations on running your ad blocker, I suppose. I do not blame you. Such a nice day outside today. I hope the weather is nice where you are, dear viewer. So, I had to close my balcony window because it's well, quite noisy. There's a street not that far away, but I've had it open all day and it's been really nice. It's been quite warm, quite pleasant.
So I've had to put my fan on behind.
Yeah, we're starting to feel like summer, I think. Hyperon's live. Thank you very much for raiding. Welcome to the stream. There's you've picked a somewhat interesting time to raid. We're in the middle of an ad break, but hello, welcome to the stream. Just in the middle of, well, we've just done a little bit of some, frankly, quite questionable level design. And now we're moving over back to some programming. We're doing a loadout system for Warbound, which, if you don't know, is a World War II FPS RTS type. I don't know, pretty cool game, in my personal opinion. Warbound.com if you're curious to learn more, or join our Discord, or any of the fun things. So yeah, we've got this sort of dynamic setup. I actually need to load into the engine again so I can reference what I was doing. But basically, we're grabbing all of our weapon assets and we're sort of adding them to our user interface where players can pick their weapons, because it's nice to be able to pick your weapon, How's everyone doing then? Hope everyone's having a lovely weekend. Almost there. Basically, I just need to remember what this is doing, because I think we're just updating the... Why is this resolution so wonky? Do you want to be normal? I guess not. It's just in the content folder, I think. UI, yeah. Experiences loadout screen. So yeah, we were just gonna set loadout. So yeah, we need to grab the loadout handler. So yeah, we need to get the game instance. Alright. We actually don't need this spool. Game instance. And we want to cast to you Warbound game instance. Game instance is get game instance, and we need to cast Warbound game instance. Cool, and then from the game instance, we're going to Warbound game instance dot loadout handler, and we're going to set loadout. Right, at the moment I think this is, yeah, we just have one loadout. This will obviously change, but for the time being, it's nice to, and this is what it's a T-array of F loadout items, which I think are essentially, okay, let me fix the function signature here, is what we're getting from here. Yeah, so we're making configuration which is being passed into the loadout item, and the loadout item is what we're getting from our inventory definition. Yeah, so this is the loadout item. Yes. So what I want is this, essentially. What is F loadout item again? Item and item configuration.
I should say goodbye, so I've got to go do something. So,
Yeah.
shall catch you later.
No worries. Thanks very much for joining us.
If you have any issues, obviously put me a message.
Yeah, I'll shoot you a text. And yeah.
Have a good rest of the
All right.
stream.
Thank you very much. Have a lovely rest of your day. In case I don't see you again.
Right.
And yeah,
You as well.
thank you.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Bye. That was Josh, one of our, well, he's our, I guess, I'm going to say senior gameplay programmer. But he's also our main gameplay programmer, so you know, very, very smart guy. Cool. Let's see if I can be somewhat smart as well. So I think I do need to create an object. Unless I create a new... Okay, can I just... Sorry, I spend so much time these days in TypeScript. I want to add a new loadout item, of course. Set this to new loadouts. So fundamentally, this flow should now work. But obviously, we're not passing anything through. So yeah, so here we had to do this sort of wonky shit with essentially storing references, because when we create our button here, we like store the reference, right? But I think if we pass by value in the on dynamic button clicked signature, I'm just gonna like grab our loadout handle just so I can see. If I just say let's be a T subclass of Warbound inventory definition, I'm gonna have to include new item and then new Warbound item configuration. Again, add the include new item configuration. Then let's regenerate the definition. I'm literally going to nick this because I cannot be bothered. It's 2 lines, fine. And then we just need to pass that along into here. Okay, let me reference this again. So yeah, for each loop, the array element, cast it. Oh, sorry, this is our wait a minute. Yeah, so this is our configuration, and this is our item. But this returns a class reference as opposed to... Do I need to... Oh. Is this the syntax I'm thinking of? Clearly not. Why does it no longer... I have also realized that the issue here could be just because I'm also not passing it in a new item configuration. So we construct this one dynamically. So let's just say you were Warbound item configuration, new config is alright. What are you unhappy about? Different first parameter types, T subclass of U Warbound item definition, and U class. Getting lost in my class a little bit here. Do you want to give me the error? There we go. Yes, that's just a U object. Which makes sense, because that's what we're doing here from our asset manager. Did I miss a follow? Yes, SMX 1985. Thank you very much for the follow. Yes, you're doing a better job of this than me, Yozo. Well done. Yeah, load primary assets is this, and then the loaded asset is this. In-memory U objects. Can we get a... Because what are these? These are class references. What if we do this? Cannot infer substitution for asset type. Saying T subclass of what was the subclass we needed? U Warbound inventory. I don't know. It's never gonna let me do that. I like how the only option it gives me is just remove statement. Expression result is not used. Inventory item definition. Item def. Asset manager. What's wrong with my equals, huh? More than one implicit conversion applied during copy initializer. It's a non-standard Microsoft C++ constructor that takes a U class. I'm somewhat perplexed, if I can be very honest here. You know, Josh yells at me a lot for... I'm curious if I put new item def in here. It seems to be pretty happy with that, but I don't know if that's because it's doing some sort of fucky conversion here. Like, I feel like this isn't a native, you know, equals conversion. That's not how if statements work. Yeah, no, I prefer the separate initialization. The level of confidence that I have that this is going to work is so astronomically low. That this isn't just going to like crash at runtime. Yeah, let's say new loadout item, new item configuration. Okay, in theory, all of the like wiring here is done, right? Assuming that, so we have the little ampersands there, which I believe means pass by reference, or pass by value, sorry. Yes, pass by value. Although it's weird because the ampersand is a reference. Do I need to dereference? If I dereference the pointer, it just gets upset me because it's not a pointer. Well, I guess new config is a pointer. Do I want to pass by reference? I don't know. I don't understand Unreal's delegate system to the level of depth in which I'd be happy doing that, I think. Or maybe not like happy doing, like I'm happy doing it, obviously, but yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen here. Let's see what the build does. And then if the build is reasonably happy, then we'll see what the editor does. I'm totally not sneaking off at work just to watch the stream. See, this is what everyone should be doing. Yeah, this is what I thought. This is what everyone should be doing. So yeah, we fail at compile time. That makes sense. Static class not a member of T subclass of. Where the hell are we calling static class? I assume static class being called as sort of a sub or part of like one of these casts or something, or whatever this nonsense is. What do you want to do now? Make member function const. Sure, does that break that? Oh, okay. You can be const if you want to be const. Okay, so this is clearly nonsense. We know the loaded assets are what we want, though. And I assume the config is... If I just say new... If I just do that, I'm just curious if this will build, right? Like if the data flow here is okay. Because in Blueprint we had to do some fucky shit to get data into a delegate. Because obviously delegates don't exist at the same time that the rest of the data does. But I'm curious if it will let me compile this. And it seems to have done so. It's funny that our actual item definition pointer. But I suppose this is like a slightly nicer way of doing this. It's funny because it didn't let me do that there. I don't know if it's doing an implicit cast here or something. But let's try this. Let's go loaded inventory item definition dot get name, which should be a string. So now the button text will actually be set properly. And now if we build and run, what we should get is the UI in the game will show us the 3 buttons which correspond to the weapons that we have loaded as primary assets, which are all variants of the Car 98K because we, like, pathologically just don't have assets. But we are working on it. The assets are coming, I promise. But up until now, we've just been testing with the Car 98K. So we have the beautiful full auto Car 98K, which is, I believe, a fan favorite. And then the shotgun Car 98K, and then the regular Car 98K. So you know what? We stay winning. So yeah, I don't know why Unreal's decided to be huge. Like, you see, like, the UI is just, the UI scale's just, like, my monitor is not, like, broke or something. Yeah, I don't know what I've done. But this doesn't affect the build, thankfully. So yeah, we have no weapon here because by default our loadout is set to nothing. And now if we go to loadout, well, that's a little not quite what I wanted to see. Yeah. Not quite what I had in mind. But useful, I think. Native unactivated. Okay, let's launch with the debugger. And we'll be able to catch the crash in the IDE and actually debug the stack trace. I'm almost certain that it's something with how we're doing this. Right, because there's some fuckiness with the implicit, like, class conversions or whatever that's happening here that shouldn't be happening here. I think this is one of the reasons why, like, we've been sort of slowing on the streams lately. Ooh, that made an unpleasant noise. Strong start. This is gonna crash. As soon as I hit exit game, continue. And as soon as this menu loads, we're gonna crash. That's fine. I don't think, as far as I can tell, you can't hear the little tick 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 that I can hear. It's actually this, the native unactivated, the get class is our issue. I'm going to stop that because that's really annoying. And it's actually persisted, which is very, very nice. So our issue is this get class. What if we try static class? What's the difference between get class and static class? This returns a uClass pointer. Because yeah, the loaded asset should be one of the classes that is like our Car 98K base class, or the shotgun base class, or the full auto base class or something. So in theory, this should, like, you know, do its thing. I think my audio driver has just decided that it doesn't like to be here. What I might do, chat, real quick, is just disconnect the little box that the speakers and headphones are plugged into, and we'll see if that goes okay. I'm going to try it. Bear with me while this builds. I'm back. I hope you're back. I can see the audio on here seems to be back. Let's power the microphone. That was very loud for a second there, I apologize. But we are, in fact, so back. And I no longer have the crash audio still playing in my headphones. So thank you very much for bearing with me. Let's see. Okay, we are still crashing. And it is once again in the native unactivated. So it is this static class, I think, that's causing us issues. So what is a T subclass? Oh, it has a friend. Alright, now we can do my favorite exercise. Flick through. What if I search class? So if tried get class, it returns the U class that defines the fields of this object. Static class just exists. This returns item fragments, which we don't want. This seems fragile. So yeah, what I'm wondering, let's just make this null and then use that to build the engine. And then we can reference the blueprints again. Because frankly, I don't know if we actually, like, I'm looking through this code and we're loading the asset. Get primary asset object. Like, I think I'm getting lost in the translation of what's going on from when we get our primary asset ID to when it's actually translated into like an asset we can reference. I don't know if that makes sense. I would also like to figure out why my Unreal Engine is large for some reason. What if I just set it to 1 again? That fixes it. What if I do this? Nope. That's so bizarre. What if I put it on my second monitor for a second? It's literally smaller on my second monitor. Oh, and it's normal again. Okay. If it's stupid but it works, it's not stupid. Great wisdom. One of the great wisdoms, truly, of all time. And first of all, this shouldn't be activating. So maybe our issue's just been that we've, like, been trying to do things at the same time as other things are happening. But I doubt it. So we're async load primary asset class list. So we get the primary asset ID list. So does it get primary asset ID list? Okay, so asset manager has a load primary assets. And what do we want? A load primary asset class list. So let's search that. Clear read-only status. No, I don't want a clear read-only status. Okay. What do we want to search? Primary asset class list. No, I just want to search, bro. Type preload primary assets. Okay. Stay loaded until explicitly unloaded is completed, and then we'll have to target its async action load primary asset class list. So this, I mean, this isn't like directly referencing the asset manager, right? So this is the Kismet function. So what if we just search it? Async load primary asset class list. So I think this is probably the Kismet. Is the game done yet? What do you think? Average project manager, ladies and gentlemen. Average project manager. Loads a list of primary asset class into memory. Okay, so this is, yeah, so this is the blueprint node. Right? And so this is what is literally a class. That only exposes a function. And yeah, so these are the nodes, right? This is completed, which is called here. So I assume if I go in here, it will return action. Load bundles, load bundles, operation E asset manager operation load. So it creates a new object of itself and then registers itself with the game instance. How bizarre. And then returns itself. Does a lot of things to itself, you know? Like, you could just chill. I assume this is just like declaring, like being used if I find usages. Like I assume it's being loaded. Like it's part of like a subclass of something. Here's handle load completed. The fuck? It casts it to you class. Is this what I need to do? like if we go in here where we load our primary asset, right? If I cast loaded inventory item definition to uClass, and then we just pass through loaded class. Okay, it doesn't like that. What if we do like this? I mean, we established this does fucky shit sometimes. But at this point, I'm willing to try it, you know? I've never seen anything cast to uClass. That's kind of funky. Because, like, if we look at that code, that is just get currently loaded assets, which seems to be essentially what, like, get loaded assets, right? Like, it returns a T-array of uObject pointers, which I believe is pretty much what we get back from here, right? Like this, it returns a uObject pointer, right? And it just casts it to a fucking class. Very funny. I don't know why it insists on making my like game UI so big. Anyway, let's see if this crashes now. That's not a good sign, I'll say. Yeah, that's not a good sign. I wonder if it is literally just still this line. Like if I just pass through null. Oh, weird. Let's, you know what we'll do here? We'll do like a really fucking ugly thing. And we'll just say that T subclass of U Warbound inventory item definition temp def U property edit defaults only. And we'll just put temp def in there. Because I'm curious if this will work. Like, I'm at the point where I'm starting to wonder if perhaps the issue here is, in fact, not even anything like specific to the way we're casting classes over, but like perhaps we need to do the same sort of like, you know, tmap, some sort of ID to a thing. Yeah, just some funky shit. So this is my way of testing that, because I know that I can control whatever subclass that I pass through in Blueprint. What a beautiful day. Let me just read a message or two, chat. Just people texting me. While we build real quick. Nothing important. Yeah, that's gonna crash. I've just realized because I haven't said a thing. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go in here, and this is based off of this. So if we go in here, we'll go temp def. We'll just set that to the car98k. That'll do the trick. Loadout. Interesting, chat. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Let's pull both of these out. Temp config. what I'm actually curious about here now is if perhaps the reason that this is like crashing is in fact the way that we're passing data through this delegate. Like, will it let me like pass a ref? No, it won't. Okay, so we're gonna just say this is temp config, and it's not gonna like me because I haven't properly declared temp config. This is gonna be Warbound item configuration temp config, and now it'll accept it. And now we're gonna rebuild. Because I'm fairly convinced that the way that like loaded class is done here, like this should be fine, surely. I mean, it's essentially exactly what's going on. Maybe I should read the warnings, because it has been compiling with warnings lately. So it actually doesn't like my loaded class. It's saying, see reference to function template instruction class for being compiled. Warning, attempting to use cast on types that are not related. I wonder if I do this on loaded asset, if it will be happier with that. I assume it wants to make this. No, it just wants to do an if else, which I don't like for readability. It's just not that nice. Alright, we're back in. I'm gonna just set a default in here real quick. I've skipped over it. Yeah, I'm just gonna set this to the Car98K scope so all of that lines up. Hit play. And observe the crash, because that's probably what's gonna happen. And indeed, nothing's loaded. Crash incoming. There's the crash. Alright, I'm gonna try a debugger again. Because I'm also curious to see if that warning goes away now. Now that we've you know, not cast this to... Yeah, so that warning seems to be gone now. So that's good to know. In theory, I don't really need this until here. Until we actually like style the new button. And I'm pretty sure, like, I don't remember there being any issues with like actually getting loaded inventory item definition. Like, this cast is fine, this loads properly. I assume this will want me to make it a const. Yeah, we can make it a const, it's fine. We'd never actually redefine that. We just throw it away at the end. So yeah, let's see what the debugger will do. We'll see if I have to restart my audio interface again. Hopefully not. So, crash. There's a crash. Interesting that the crash is for the get name. Very funny if true. Indeed, very funny if true. Very funny if true. I will say I sort of monkey see, monkey do did that, because I was like, get name? Well, I know there's a get name. I guess we'll find out. I don't know what the default text is. If I'm feeling... If this doesn't crash, I'll switch it to something, and then we'll... I vaguely remember having like a weird issue with this as well in Blueprint, maybe? I don't know. We'll see. My head gets a little lost in a lot of the data types here. I wasn't around when they were created. I was homeless. Not quite. but kind of. I didn't have access to any PC. I wasn't really working on the game because I was looking for jobs and sleeping on friends' couches because I didn't have a house. But chat was so bad. I'm fucking with the lens cap on the camera. Let's go. Let's see if it's the get name that's the issue. It'd be really funny if it was. Well, that's quite funny. Alright, I'm curious now, because that, in theory, because we've preset our classes, right, in theory should now, if I just hop into this development team deathmatch, I should indeed have a Kar 98K that works. Okay. Well, that's new. Let's see if we can swap this out for our loaded class. T subclass of U Warbound item definition and U class. So I'm pretty sure we cast this. So let's say U class loaded class, and then let's say T subclass of U Warbound's inventory item definition test subclass is cast loaded. I've done the wrong syntax. Inventory item definition, and then this is where loaded class goes. Okay, it doesn't like that. No viable constructor. Let's what did I call it? Temp def. I'm gonna real quick double check what the cast that we do in Blueprint is, because to the best of my understanding, loaded class is what's returned by the Blueprint function that we're using there. So yeah. Let's see. Because I swear it's just a cast, but we have big UI again. Because I'm interacting with the UI, I'm going to make it the small UI again. I don't know why it does that like weird DPI thing. Let's see, graph. So we cast to the Warbound inventory item definition class. Interesting. Okay, so U class loaded class. What if we cast the U Warbound inventory item definition? But this is just our loaded. This is just our this thingy, isn't it? Yeah, it's not happy with that. How do you cast to the class definition? Okay, let's try the Unreal Engine Clanker. I know you can't really see this because of the chat, but there's an Unreal Engine Clanker here. So if I can do this like that, then if we, I think Shift F1. Oh, it's done a different thing. It's not quite what I wanted. So yeah, let's select this. Oh, it's because it's not Shift F1, it's just F1. There we go. Let's see what the Unreal Engine Clanker has to say. I'm gonna let it do its thing. Oh, it's getting real bright, isn't it? Wow. Let me turn down the exposure compensation a little bit. Yeah. How would I make this cast in C++? Let's see. I'm curious what chat thinks about LLMs, to be honest. They're certainly a heavy topic these days, aren't they? I'm not sure if that's something that I really want to open to the floor, but I'm curious if you've got any hot takes. It's interesting. Pointed to a base class or U object to point to the desired subclass. So that's not what I want. I want to get, because this is it's a class reference, isn't it? I want a class reference, not an object reference. Let's see what it says to that. The live vibe coding. I mean, I don't know if I'd call this vibe coding, but live prompt engineering Warbound session. Crazy. U-class or T, so this refers to, that's it. Casting or checking class reference is child of da. Cast and check a class reference. U-class casted class equals some class. So we have a U-class pointer. Compile time and enter type safety. Avoid cast on U-class unless you specifically need a cast to a subclass U-class pointer. Well, this is what I need, but it's not giving it to me. Because I know that if I could get a definition through, it does work, right? So like, that to me at least solidified that the delegate itself here is okay. Because this is something that I was fucking around with pre-stream, is the delegates in like this particular class of like, this is a Warbound activatable widget, which derives from common activatable widget, which derives from common user widget. And I needed to pass a delegate on a button. So if we go in here, it's a button that's a Warbound button base that goes back to common button base. And it doesn't give you the add dynamic keyword, so you need to use add uObject, which is right here. Right, so add uObject is sort of fucky. Otherwise, it uses the same. We're passing a delegate down here, but unlike in Blueprint, right, where if you remember, we had to like make this separate function. Right, we are able to just pass references to these car98 case and stuff. might suggest do this so that we can, because these shouldn't be casts. We are essentially just duplicating our work here. Excuse me, but you know, kind of neat. I think what's happened is sorry about the lighting. I'm like very aware of it. My room's gotten a lot brighter. I think what's happened is that I've got like a big building in front of me, right? I think the sun's gone up behind it and has now come out the other side. So now it's like hitting the, yeah. Classic. I need to pass a U object pointer to a function property that takes a T subclass of U my class. Right? It's U random and random definition. All that I've tried has crashed. Please help. Smiley face. You gotta be nice to the clankers, at least a little bit. See what it has to say. It's very like a laggy interface. You know? I'm very curious what it's gonna come up with. It actually represents class. So it's saying it's cast to the class. Try to cast input object to U class reference. So that's essentially this. Right, so that's casting to our loaded and returned definition. Validate the class is child of UMyClass. So this is just like validation. You think, because like TypeScript, I read a lot of TypeScript at work. It's gone from being a language that I didn't really touch to being like probably the language I use most, just because, you know, 9 to 5. And it's like in TypeScript, if you're like passing a value and the type is unsure, you can like tell TypeScript that you're like 100% sure. You can just basically say, trust me, bro. And TypeScript will be like, absolutely. So maybe that's the issue that we're getting here. So maybe, I don't know. I'm gonna yoink this all because I cannot be fucked. You know, there's a whole copy code button. How handy is that? For what it's worth, I don't trust it. Oh. Okay, I think I need to just paste the function, bro. Paste the function, little bro. Ding. Obviously, we're not in a void star. Yeah, so this is actually our loaded class. So what I want is if loaded class and loaded asset, I guess, but we already do a loaded asset check. So I guess it wants to pull this out. And loaded class. I'm not sure what it's doing here as I'm reading this. Let's bring back. I've decided to change my approach. Let's just toss this in like a comment block. Because otherwise this is just going to be too confusing. It's going to do that. Okay, if loaded asset. Okay, loaded class. If loaded class, which is our class pointer. Loaded class is equal to loaded asset dot get class. Interesting. And then if loaded class and loaded class that is child of u warbound inventory item definition static class, then we can say t subclass of u warbound inventory item definition item def subclass. And we can just set it to loaded class then. And then we can put all that in there, basically. If I'm understanding this correctly. I can do some cleanup. And so now in theory, item def subclass. To be fair to the clanker, I think this might be the cast, because it's not a cast, right? Like maybe that's what I was missing, that I don't actually need to cast anything. I just need to set it to the right type that it already is. And then this is just the validation that we kind of like are already certain of, right? Because we are checking, we are getting primary assets of this type. Right, so maybe this is just a bunch of nonsense for what we're trying to do here. I'm gonna lower the exposure compensation a little bit more. It's getting very bright. It's good though. It's nice that it's bright, you know. So maybe, because then again, in load item def subclass get name. Because I think that's what we do here, right? Like we get the class display name. All right, I mean, let's see. Let's see. Maybe the clankers are coming for my job. On a more serious note, this is something LLMs are quite good at. Like, it's just a fancy documentation search tool that happens to be able to write 97% of the code of a junior engineer. Don't you love the modern world? Alright, moment of truth, I guess. Is it gonna be big Unreal again? It fucking is. Okay, in theory I don't need the engine itself. I've got no idea why it's decided to do that. Alright, moment of truth. That's pretty good. That's a pretty fucking good sign. Let's click on the shotgun. And let's head to the Team Deathmatch development map. Hey, hey, hey. The clanker got it. The clanker fucking got it. Well, that's a thing to end on then, I suppose. Yeah. it was indeed as simple as that. I do think that we'd be fine without running all of these like loaded class checks. If the cast fails, we just get the loaded asset class. I'll probably leave it in, but I might experiment with just ripping it out and seeing what happens, really. So we don't actually need to load this at all. Or rather, we don't need to cast our loaded class up. And so we can now at least go in here and delete our temp def. So we still need a temp config. I think that's going to be something that I'm going to try and tackle tomorrow or throughout the week. Because really, like, just to maybe let's have a little bit of a just like a little chat to finish the stream off. The goal for this feature is obviously like full end-to-end loadouts, right? Or soldiers, or whatever we end up calling them. You'll have a soldier where you can actually go in and customize all the weapons that you go into battle with. And on those weapons, of course, you have all your attachments and your modifications and all your skins and whatever the hell you want, right? So that's like the end-to-end goal of the system. We've broken it down into sort of 3 like sub-projects. The first is the actual like weapon and modification editor, I guess, right? You go and you pick a weapon, you can edit all the modifications on it. That then scales back into broad scopes like soldier loadouts. So you go in, you get to pick what guns your soldier takes in the battle, and then the final step is actually like loading all of that in the match. And yeah, being able to configure your soldier, take that into a match, and then pick which soldier you're spawning with in the match. I think that's the broad scopes. Like the design very likely will change as we discuss this as a team and as we see what you guys want and how that goes. But yeah, that's kind of from a technical perspective the main thing that I'm going to be working on over the next 2-3 months. So yeah, I think we've made some decent progress today. It'll be fun once we get to unlocking things. Indeed, this is a whole other system that we also need to have discussions about this weekend. But we're getting there. I think again, thanks to the clanker. But I guess I'll know I can just equal things as a whole other class. I think as a concept that just didn't click for me in my brain. So thank you very much to Unreal's little AI assistant, I guess. And thank you very much to you for joining this Warbound stream, for watching, and for sticking around, supporting the game. If you haven't already, we have a Discord we'd love for you to join. There's also the Warbound website, warbound.com. Very simple, very straightforward. We have the whole archive of all of our devlogs and our news stuff on there from the last almost 2 years of development. It's been a little bit. And yeah, I will look forward to hopefully seeing you this time next week, where I don't know what we'll do, but we'll see. Hopefully I'll have made some more progress on this, and you can at the very least sort of check in and see what's going on. And yeah, if you're not in the Discord already and you feel really lazy about scrolling down a little bit and clicking the Discord button, wait, what the fuck is the camera? Right, I'm doing an absolute piss poor job of this. Right there, there's lovely links that our project manager Josip has dropped. You capitalize the H in HTTPS, Josip, but other than that, well done. Right there for you. If you're watching the VOD or anything, also right there for you. Very simple, very easy. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. He's corrected it now. Well done. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. Have a lovely week. And I'll see you here at the usual time, 3 to 5 p.m. British time, next week, Saturday. Have a lovely weekend. And we'll catch you then. See ya.